Another second half collapse after leading big time at the end of the first half. The Bulls end up losing to the Phoenix Suns 113 to 115. What happened? What were the calls? What were the reasons? Did Billy Donovan call the right play down the stretch of that game? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With all that said, let's go ahead and talk about it, man. The Bulls suffer a second half collapse, man, where they just could not. I said it, right? I said it in the halftime hangout that the Phoenix Suns were going to come out in the second half and they were going to look to shoot themselves out of the slump that they were in. When you look at it, in the second half of this game, the Phoenix Suns go 11 from 20 from three-point range. Now, when you combine that to the first half, they went 3 of 14 in the first half of this game. And that's not the whole entire reason, but that's a big part of why the second half of this game was so much different, was just that the Phoenix Suns were hitting their threes. Yes, Kevin Durant also scores 43 points in a game where he completely goes off when his team needs it. And it's unfortunate. The Bulls won the rebounding battle 47 to 39 in this game. Things like that. Points off turnovers, they won 22 to 10 because the Bulls couldn't take care of the ball. Second chance points, the Bulls won 17 to 9. Bench points 21 to 19. So those things were close. But overall, it's that 3-point shooting by the Phoenix Suns just being so much different in the first half. In the second half than what it was in the first half, really helped doom the Chicago Bulls. And overall, the Suns just shot the ball overall better than the Bulls in the second half of the game. The Bulls in the second half shooting the ball 40% from the field and 29% from three-point range. We combine that for the Phoenix Suns, 50% from the field and 55% from three-point range. The Bulls just didn't have enough. And then they were still in a position to try to tie or win the game down the stretch. And I'll say with this, it was creative. It was unexpected for the Bulls to try to run a lob play for Patrick Williams to see if he can get that dunk to tie the game. I'll give Billy Donovan still credit for that. It didn't work. He didn't get to the free throw line, but it was a creative thing, and it was something that Phoenix Sun team wasn't expecting. But then after that, no time comes off the clock because of where the foul was. And then the Chicago Bulls run an inbounds play, and it's typical Billy Donovan inbounds plays in that case, where it was just the most obvious thing. You run a play for DeMar DeRozan with 1.6 seconds left on the clock that is him trying to get off a three-point shot, and it was just bad. It was like Luke Getzey play calling for my Chicago Bears fans out there. And unfortunately, those things just really doomed the Bulls in the second half of this game, man. We could have won this game. And we just did not, we were not able to keep up the 48 minutes of intensity. I always talk about that this Bulls team needs to be able to win games like this. We just couldn't, man. I'll give the Bulls credit for being in the game, but it just was not enough. And the Phoenix Suns won this game. KD played a great second half as well. I don't want to make it seem like it was just all the Bulls' mistakes. KD going 16 of 32 from the field. He gets 43 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 blocks. He was the only player over 20 points in this game. Bradley Beal did chip in 18. Devin Booker chipped in 16. And Eubanks came off the bench with 10. A lot of those really energizing the Phoenix Suns in the second half of this game. And the Bulls just couldn't match that energy. Kobe White with almost a triple-double, 1 assist away from a triple-double, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals from Kobe White in this game. Really love the way that Kobe played down the stretch of this game as well. DeMar DeRozan, 8 of 16 for 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. Patrick Williams, 5 of 12 for 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, no blocks from him. Overall, it's just the Bulls didn't do enough down the stretch to really be in a position to win this game. And that's something they got to look at themselves at, right? So now we fall back to 3 games below 500 with 2 games left on the week. So we're definitely not going to get to 500 on this week, and that's okay, right? There's more time left after this week. But this is a game where the Bulls really need to look at themselves. And again, the thing that we keep talking about with this team, they do not win the playoff atmosphere type games. And let's hope that they learned from this one again, like they've learned from some of the other ones. But tough loss from the Bulls in this one, man. In a game that was definitely winnable. And yeah, I'm definitely frustrated by this game. Definitely frustrated by this game. We got New Wave with the super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. Says I'm so sick of Debo taking the last shot. Kobe was fired from three. Feels like Billy doesn't even draw final plays. I mean, listen, Billy, that's one thing. Billy Donovan's inbound plays are terrible. And it's been that way for his whole coaching career. Billy Donovan cannot call an inbounds play to save his life. He never has been able to, never will be able to. He's just not good at it. And once it came down, when it comes down to a Billy Donovan drawn play in the fourth quarter, inbounds play, it's usually not going to work. It's just usually not going to work. And like I said, that P. Will play call was creative. I give him credit for that because I tell you what, had that been called a foul and P. Will actually been able to get control of the ball and went to the free throw line and P. Will would have knocked down those two free throws, I would have given Billy Donovan so much credit for calling a lob play to P. Will where he usually doesn't go to anybody but DeMar DeRozan. But then we get another bite of that opportunity to try to push the game into overtime, and he runs a play that, again, there's several branches to plays, so that wasn't the only option in the play, but just the fact that it resulted in a contested three-point shot with two people on DeMar DeRozan because they all knew DeMar was going to get the ball. And that's an unfortunate, thing with this, man. And, it sucks. I'm not blaming it completely on Billy. The players executed terribly in the second half of this game. We didn't hold on to the ball well enough. We shouldn't have ever been in that position overall. And then you got to look at some of the bad calls from the refs. But I don't want to really blame it on that. I want to blame it on what the Bulls were in control, and they could have absolutely controlled this game better down the stretch to really put themselves. You let Eubanks come in and change the complete tone and pace of this game. And that's something that's on the roster. That's on the players that were out there on the court. I can't blame Billy Donovan for that. Yes, Billy Donovan probably should have called timeouts in a more timely manner to kind of manage some of those runs. But the Bulls they allowed a role player to come in and that be the player that really changed the energy for the Phoenix Suns. And the Kevin Durant and others came in, added that icing on top, and the Bulls were just never able to get it back underway completely after that, man. It sucks. It really sucks, man. This could have been a win. This could have been one of those wins where you look at it and say, hey, the Bulls came out here and executed, but that is why playing a full 48 minutes is so important in the game of basketball. You have to play a full 48 minutes. And if you don't, especially against a team like the Phoenix Suns that can get hot from three-point range, it's going to bite you in your ass every time, man. And the Bulls really got to figure that out, man. Yeah, the refs, don't get me wrong. I don't want to act like the refs didn't have a part in it. They absolutely did. But I can't say the Bulls got robbed. Can't say the Bulls got robbed because the defense not holding on to the ball, the turnovers, all those things played a big part in it as well. And you saw, again, that Chicago Bulls team that once the energy starts shifting, they don't know how to shift into a different gear themselves. And that really starts hurting the Bulls. And it hurt them in this one. I'm sorry. I can't blame it. I see you guys already in the comments saying the Bulls got robbed. I'm not blaming it just on that. The Bulls didn't take care of some of the things that were in control in this game, and I just can't blame it solely on the refs. The refs definitely had a part, and it sucked to see the refs do what they did, but man, yeah, the Bulls had things in their control that they just didn't execute well. Jamal in the building says, first off, F Grayson Allen and clicked it and the click he claimed. Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. Let me guess, it's Zach LaVine's fault. No, they can't blame it on that in this one. Billy fucked this game up. Well, definitely down the stretch of this game. That play calling in that inbounds play was bad. It was just bad. Let's see what we get here. JC Bull says heartbreaking loss. The young guys look great paying at a high place. You can see why Alex is so important to this team. The second he went out with foul trouble, the Suns made their run. Refs were bad. Yeah, well, we were still up by, was it 20 points? Maybe it was 17 points when Alex Caruso went out when he got that foul. And then by the time he came back in, I think we were down or maybe only up 7, something like that. It had gotten really out of hand. And so, unfortunately, the Bulls never were able to really rein it back in. Never were able to do it. Archangel says, my grandpa used to refuse to watch the judge defense in the Olympics because the best athlete often didn't win because of unfair judging. That's how games like this feel. I understand where you're coming from. Definitely understand where you're coming from in this one. Yeah, I can accept taking the call off, but turning it an offensive foul was egregious. That was. Now, that is going to be something I'm interested to see what the NBA, if they say anything about this, because that was weird. That was just a weird decision by the ref. So maybe that part is rigged. I didn't think about that just in my little rant there. But yeah, that time that they overturned it because we were up 111 and 119 or 109, 111 and 109 at that point in time. They took the 2 points off, which put us back 109 all. And yeah, I mean, the Bulls have those 2 points backs. We're looking at a completely different game down the stretch of this. And so it reminded me of that time that they called it a flop and a foul. And Billy Donovan was pissed on the sidelines because that call just didn't make sense. That call didn't make sense, man. We got Corn in the building says, I'm laughing from not losing my mind. I'm on my Dennis Green shit. They are who we thought they were is insane. That's funny. That's absolute funny. That's funny. 20-point loss just pissed me. Hey, man. I'm pissed off about it too. It sucks. It really does suck, man. It really does suck. Joe the Blacksmith says again, Kobe didn't get enough touches down the stretch. I care much less about the team losing if Kobe gets more learning experience. That is a way to look at it, right? You and as we've said before on this channel, like how do you expect a player to learn how to play, perform, and step up in clutch moments if you don't give him the opportunity to? And so that is something that Billy Donovan has to look at. And I understand I've said before, but the thing is, Kobe White did get 4 shots in the fourth quarter. The only person with more shots than him were DeMar and Nikola Vucevic, who, by the way, we got to stop running 3-point plays for Nikola Vucevic. I like Vuce overall. I like what he brings in this game, the things that he does well. But 3-point shooting, we have established now over his years here that his 3-point shooting ain't it. It just ain't it. And we keep doing the same shit when it gets to Vuce in these 3-point shots. Vuce is not a 3-point shooter. He's a big that can hit some 3-point shots. He's not a 3-point shooter. He's not a 3-point shooter. Ball cheeks challenge. DeMar did not pull Grayson Allen's arm. That 40-year-old looking 28-year-old is a effing Belland. And what was that final shot to, bro? That final shot is the one. That was crazy. That was crazy. Liam in the building, bro. That call on Debo was madness. Fair enough, no foul on Allen, but to take away the basket, yeah, that was the weird part of it for sure. That was the weird part of it for sure. Delbert says, love you, Haize, gonna always rock with you, but we got robbed 100%. Listen, I still can't say that it's 100% robbed. Can't say it's 100% robbed. Haize, I know I lean towards the negative because every time I get my hopes up, I get let down. Today's game is a classic. I mean, I feel you where you're coming from on that one. What watch, they say they made a mistake taking our points away, but we lost. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. D Nice is in the building. What happened? Super duper mega ultra ball cheeks. That is hilarious. Ball cheeks is funny that's actually become a thing. DeRozan always has the ball. Billy drew up a play for DeRozan. Awkward ass shot. My 8-year-old son could draw up a play better than that. It was a bad drawn up play. There's no way around that. That was a bad drawn up play. That was a bad inbounds play. And Billy Donovan got to be better at that. And that's why I really do hope that Billy Donovan, we know that they're not moving away from Billy Donovan, but I really hope that this front office takes a look at getting another coach on here, maybe with better situational awareness, something. We got to have somebody who can be better at drawing up those type of plays because right now, Billy Donovan is not it. Billy Donovan cannot draw up a fourth quarter inbounds play to save his life. Every single time, it's the same shit. Every time. Every time. Billy is the worst. If a tourist is firing him, he's the worst as well. No game plan at all. We have all the talent, but we still play like shit. Listen, we can't say that we played completely like shit. See that, and that's the thing. We got to stop overreacting. We can't say that the Bulls completely played like shit. I've already seen you guys blaming everything on P. Will. It's not P. Will either. It's again, this team as a whole played terrible defense down the stretch of this game. Terrible defense down the stretch of this game. And so blaming that on any one aspect is really missing the forest for the trees. Never thought I'd see the day where this team loses to the big three of KD, a ref, and Drew Eubanks. That is crazy. That's wild. OTR says Vooch thinks he's Brooke Lopez. It breaks my heart to see the Bulls fly off into the stratosphere after hitting the back of the rim because this motherfucker don't know how to act. That's tough. The Bulls played a really good game for about 2.5 quarters. KD is a superstar and took over. The Bulls have to be consistent on both ends of the court. They failed. Kobe has to continue to be assertive. Well, I mean, it's not just as simple as that. I think sometimes, Black Prophet, you oversimplify things in the sense of just blaming the players. It's also up to the coach. The coach is the maestro of all this. They are the ones that are supposed to bring this all together. And unfortunately, Billy Donovan, as we've seen before, as a coach, tightens up when other teams go on runs late in games. He doesn't know how to adapt. So, yeah, it was some of the players out there for sure. It was some of the refs, but Billy Donovan's adjustments and knowing how to kind of operate and ride those waves and things like that as a team, just it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Archangel says, when you only lose by 2 points, though, and the ref screwed us out of at least 2 points, ref did change the outcome. Without refs, we would have turned a blowout win into a narrow win, but still would have won. Hey, that's great insight on that, Archangel. I can't combat that at all. Great insight. King Solomon says the rebounds leading to second point opportunities always comes back to haunt Bulls. Yep, absolutely. And the Phoenix Suns didn't even get a lot of second chance points in this game, but they got the second chance points when it mattered the most. And that's what really hurt this team for sure. Christian Jones, it's the little things. The Bulls fail to learn that will limit the team's success. Can't argue that one. Corn says, I'm vice president of security operations at Allegiant Stadium, dealing with the Super Bowl. Just got off the phone with Usher Security and the team, and my Bulls is bringing more stress than that. That is hilarious, Corn. That's crazy. Shout out to you for having an important job, though, bro. My biggest complaint about P. Will is how the ball slips from his hand so many times. Too much lube. Wow. No, but P. Will got to get the turnovers underway. He has to get the turnovers underway. It's too much stuff with P. Will. I know it's only registered for 2 turnovers in this game, but he got to get it together. He got to get it together. Giannis says, Haize, been loving the content, but who would you want as our coach? I've said this many times. It's not about getting a big name coach. I don't have a list. I would love the Bulls to do an active search to find the person who can be the next great head coach, not just try to go after the next name. That's what we did with Billy Donovan. We don't want to do that again whenever it's time for that. Shane O'Mac, Haize, if we look at more positives, I'm glad that Kobe wasn't scared of the Suns. Another positive, I think we know we need to move on from DeMar. Billy trusts DeMar too much. It's Kobe's time. And that is an interesting perspective to have on it, right? Because so many Bulls fans will say, oh, no, we need we need DeMar. DeMar is this. We need, but at the end of the day, you have to also look at DeMar DeRozan is Billy Donovan's safety net. And as long as DeMar is on this roster, good and or bad, because there's going to be times where we absolutely reap the benefits of it, right? I'm not going to completely shit on DeMar because there's going to be times where we need that. But as long as he's here, we have to realize he is going to lean heavily towards DeMar DeRozan. It's been shown, it's been evident. To expect anything different is asinine at this point. He's going to do that. Antoine Johnson says, we competed tonight, just couldn't get the win. I'm truly realizing Kobe is really good. It's real. For the people who doubted, rightfully so, right, and had questions on, is this Kobe White going to be consistent? Is this going to be the Kobe White that we can bet on night in and night out? Yes, it can be. And so that's the thing that if nothing else we got out of the season so far is that Kobe White is legit. He is legit, period. Vooch is not a cancer to this team, bro. I'm sorry. That's an overstatement. He's not a cancer to this team. Bulls Daily in the building. My little brother says, I wasn't expecting us to lose, and it's sad. It's sad when us Bulls fans are scared of the other teams, like we lacing up, hooping for with them. It's sad we go into games already knowing we're going to lose. I don't think that's the case. I know a lot of people expected the Bulls to lose in this game, but they competed and fought hard throughout most of this game. They couldn't get stops down the stretch. Alex Caruso getting in foul trouble, bad ref calls, that all played a part into this. But I think we still are seeing a team that can compete with anyone. They just got some things and some hills that they need to climb if they really want to be able to sustain it. And you need these type of losses as well over that, but we got to see it. Donovan's timeout usage makes me insane. He coached better in this successful stretch of games, but the timeout usage got to improve. Agree with you on that one. Speak the truth, Haize. You're absolutely right about DeMar. That's it. That's it. Like that's ultimately what it comes down to. Like I know everybody, we live in a world where everything has to be all good or all bad. The truth is usually there in the middle, and I always try to see that, right? There are absolutely positives to DeMar DeRozan being on this Bulls team. There are absolutely negatives to DeMar DeRozan being on this Bulls team. The bigger question that that the Bulls front office has to ask himself, because it doesn't matter what we want as fans, they have to ask themselves is, by taking away DeMar DeRozan, if you can't extend him, do the negatives that we lose, I mean, the positives that we lose from DeMar DeRozan going away, are those things that other players can step up into and help with over time. It's not going to be immediate, but you got to ask yourself, is Kobe ready to step up in those moments, right? And whatever you get back, do those help not be in maybe some of those moments? So the truth is always somewhere in the middle. I always try to talk about it from that point and not really try to be on just heavy negative or heavy positive. Cornelius Smith says, Haize, that's why I didn't leave a mailbag. This was the first break in a while. I got you this week, King. It's just been crazy. Hey, I feel you, bro. You got Super Bowl shit. You got to take care of business, bro. Got to take care of business. I know you like Vooch, but Vooch not getting that crucial rebound that led to a KD three-pointer was unexcusable. Soft attempt at a rebound. Bro, and that's not true either. Like, again, these black and white things, man, there's nothing to say that anybody else would have necessarily got the rebound in that. Yes, you needed that rebound in that moment, but that's not soft. That was positioning. That's what that is. Got to stop. Everybody uses these buzzwords when it comes to Vooch, and that wasn't a soft thing. True meaning of being a superstar player, because KD did what KD does in closing moments. Facts. KD separated hugely in what we had. Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Take DeMar out of Billy's hands for the love of God. I like Billy. I like DeMar, but Billy needs to get his toy taken away from him. Sometimes you need that, bro. And again, I don't know if this Bulls team is ready to do that. I don't know if somebody else is going to step up if we do, but sometimes you may need to do that for the betterment of the pieces that you have on this roster. Phoenix is high desert, high elevation. I wonder if their players get acclimated to the altitude, because we were looking gas. Drummond looked immediately gas. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you do from practicing up there. You absolutely do. That's why some people train in places like Phoenix and in Arizona overall in the offseason to help build up that endurance. So Immortal Beast with a great point here. I love how every time the Bulls fans lose, they start to over every single time, bro. Every single time. It's like we could win 9 games in a row. We can lose 2 games in a row, and people will be like, "Oh my god, oh this we knew it wasn't real. We knew it wasn't real." Like, goddamn, man, like chill out. Like you're gonna lose some games. Mario P with the super chat. Thank you, brother, for supporting the channel. Says, what frustrates me is we do not know how long we have to endure bad Donovan nights. Refs hurt us. Men on the court tonight need to learn from this loss. Don't know if we win tonight with Zach either. All fair points. See, again, fair, level-headed comments there. I completely agree with you there. Bulls Daily says, somebody goofy ass son said Vooch is a cancer. Little folks must be watching basketball in Switzerland. That is hilarious. That's funny. Kyle Talkington. I love Drum, but he let Eubanks get in his head and outplay him in the third. That was a big part of them slimming down that lead initially. Frustrating as fuck loss. Refs didn't help, but we lost this. I completely agree with you there, Kyle Talkington. Completely agree with you. Honestly, who can we depend on if Debo leaves? Our most player gave up on us. No bat. We need Debo in Vooch. I mean, and that goes back to what I said. Yeah, I mean, but you gotta. Damn, you missed your shoot. I honestly don't even see. But you know what, Beans? The chat did refresh, bro. Because there were so many comments. Let me see if I can get it back on the YouTube side. Give me 1 second to see if I can get it there. I got to start pinning those super chats. Let's see. Which one's this one? That's Mario P's. Let's see. Let's see. Can I find Beans super chat? Hey, Beans, just leave the comment again. I'll read it, bro. Yeah. Once the chat refreshes and I lose it that way, I don't think there's a way I can get it back. Unfortunately, let me see if I can. Let me see. Can I get it on this side? Oh, I got it. I got it. Beans the comedian with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel, brother. That offensive foul was bogus as fuck. We got cheated. Hey, a lot of people are going to agree with that. A lot of people are going to agree with that, Beans. Ahmed says, "I think the net gain of trading DeMar could only be determined positive if we're able to give Kobe and our young core meaningful basketball and they evolve into bona fide all stars at some point. Yeah, it's not going to be told like immediately, right? And so how I have we live in a microwave mindset community right now. Everybody wants that instant gratification, and that's not necessarily going to be it. It's not necessarily going to be there. So you got to weigh the odds on that one." People needs to take the next step like Kobe if we wanted to close out games. He's making strides, but his lapse in defense in the second half allowed KD to find his rhythm. Well, I mean, it wasn't all Pat guarding KD down the stretch, but yeah, I mean, Patrick Williams didn't really give that same intensity that we've seen at times from him this season. Elijah says, "In certain games, I want doing the regular season, and I'm tired of losing to the Suns." Hey, I feel you. I feel you, bro. I'm not surprised Billy is last in the league. I feel like we never challenge a call, even if it's the obvious. I mean, I will say this: he's challenged more calls this year than what we've seen from him in his Bulls tenure. But that's it was so low before. I'm not surprised with it. I'm still confused on how DeMar's shot didn't count. It was after the facts. It was definitely after the like that shot from DeMar should have counted. It should have counted. Period. That shot from DeMar should have counted. Drummond looked gassed quickly. Sometimes he wasn't even raising his arms under the basket for rebounds. The elevation is getting to them when their arms go limp like that. Great point. Great point. How's Paul going to improve his defense on KD if Paul doesn't have great lateral movement? I mean, listen, lateral movement is part of defense. It's not all of defense. Now, you do look at players with great lateral movement of being able to be great defenders, but let's not act like it all comes down to just lateral movement. It doesn't. And he's not the quickest lateral. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have good lateral movement. And the KD isn't the fastest either. So the lateral movement isn't a thing there. It's not a thing there. Christopher says, we don't need Debo. He's a great player, but he doesn't play the style of ball that Donovan runs. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I got to disagree with that because it is what it is. Like, I mean, Billy Donovan relies on him, so he got to be doing something. Phoenix isn't that high of elevation, is it? There's no way it's close to Utah or Denver, right? Where Arizona is high elevation. Elevation is in general. I don't know Phoenix specifically. Our defense was really good today. I even think at times Caruso had good one-on-one defense on KD, and the collective defense, the ball get out of his hands wasn't bad at all. KD is really that dude. KD is just good. He's absolutely good. The Bull says, "Hey, Haize, long time I've been listening to you. You are killing it. And you were on Bleach Report. Amazing work. I'm so pissed at the refs, Billy D, and bad defense in the second half." It's unfortunate, man. Like I said, I'm not going to blame it solely on the refs. There are a lot of other things that definitely went into it. The Bulls just didn't take care of the business. They didn't stand on business like we needed them to stand on business. Letting Drew Eubanks change the momentum really rattled us. I'm still confident about us getting back to 500 soon. Oh yeah, listen. Like I said, losses suck, and you're gonna have tough losses. But really, like when you look at it, we'll see what the Bulls do against. I'll tell you what, the Bulls play like they did today. I think that they got a good chance against the Lakers. We got Portland, we got Toronto, we got Charlotte. Those are our next 4 games. We're 3 games below 500. There's reason to believe that the Bulls can be back to 500 by the end of that. Now, after that, we got Sacramento, Minnesota, Memphis again, Orlando, Atlanta, Cleveland. That takes us to about mid part of February and past the trade deadline. So, we'll see what those things end up turning into for the Bulls. Kobe should win most improved player this year, but I know they're going to give it to someone like Maxey, who already was great last year. Probably, probably. In times like this, we need Zach and the fans really want him gone. I mean, the thing is, Zach, the way Zach's been playing this year, there's no real reason to think it was going to be any different. Big Diesel says, "Hey, sorry, I have to disagree. I think DeMar was good up until Kobe has stepped up. I think a trade for Bruce Brown type player would help more." I'm not. What do you mean? I didn't. What are you disagreeing with? I'm just saying that DeMar still helps this team. He absolutely does. Now, a player like Bruce Brown, who plays solid defense, is a better 3-point threat. absolutely could help the Bulls potentially more. But that closing aspect, right? That's it. And so you got to weigh the question of, and let's say you are able to flip DeMar DeRozan for a Bruce Brown player. Let's just say Bruce Brown. And is bringing in Bruce Brown going to eliminate you being in so many close games down the stretch? And not say Bruce Brown himself because he's a role player, but how that team plays in totality at that point. So I don't know what you're disagreeing with me about. I actually agree with mostly what you said there. I just think that you can't overlook the fact that DeMar still absolutely helps this team right now. Cornelius Smith says, KD in the second half said, "You know who I am? I'm Kevin Durant, and that king is him." Well, brush your goddamn hair. Brush your hair then. Brush your hair. That's what, if you're the king, brush your hair. It's no reason that Kevin Durant should be walking around as a millionaire with BDBs. Like it shouldn't be happening. Y'all even remember where BDB's from? If y'all remember the show that said that, you get $5 in the super chat. But yeah, it's crazy. It's wild. It's wild. Alvin in the building. He says, "What are the chances one of these teams, like the Pistons, offer people a contract that the Bulls might not want to match?" Slim to none. Keep in mind, the Bulls can still offer P. Will the most money. And P. Will isn't poison pill eligible, so they can't offer him a poison pill deal. So if the Bulls are committed to keeping Patrick Williams back, they may even let him go out and maybe find his own deal to set the tone for the market. But I don't think there's really much that the Bulls are not going to be able to match when it comes to P. Will if they really want him. Bro, we miss Torrey Craig. Oh, we miss Torrey Craig every night. What Torrey Craig brings defensively and shooting, it definitely helps a whole hell of a lot. Look at everybody with Martin. See, I knew Beans, the comedian, would definitely remember it. You said, oh, did you say the BDBs first? I didn't. I honestly, bro, I didn't even. If you said that, I didn't even see it, bro. I didn't even see it. I literally couldn't join the stream. I had to go for a walk for real. The game had me fucking pissed. Like I just had this feeling throughout the whole game. Some BS was gonna happen. I mean, the officiating was weird the whole game, right? I think we all can agree to that. The officiating was weird the whole game. Black Prophet says, "It's interesting watching the comments. They seem to follow a certain logic. Bulls fans hate either DeMar, Vooch, or Zach every game. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde fan syndrome." Hey, I feel you on that one. Haize, I was just disagreeing with the thought that the Bulls need DeMar. I think Malcolm Brogdon or Bruce Brown type would fit the team more. That's all. I mean, listen, Malcolm Brogdon, no, we don't need any more guards per se. But no, I mean, you don't think that I didn't say need, but I do think that, well, maybe I did in certain areas of the fourth quarter, they do. These players haven't shown an ability to step up consistently. And even then, when the Bulls go on scoring droughts, guess what? DeMar DeRozan with those 2-point shots and be able to get to the free throw line really helped dig the Bulls out of that a lot. That BDB thing in Pan was improvised too. Was it? That's crazy. That's wild. That's wild. More BDBs. Yeah, that's crazy. That's funny. No, Torrey's not done for the season. Torrey could be back in about 2 to 3 weeks. That would leave over a month of the season left for him to come back. So it's not done for the season per se. This is why I couldn't be a professional sports player, bro, because I definitely busting off that ref at the end of that game. Hey, but then you're gonna get suspended and then they're gonna fine you. So that definitely affects you not popping off. DeMar could score more if he wasn't greedy with those 3-point plays with the pump fakes that he likes. I mean, listen, one thing DeMar DeRozan is gonna do is have illegitimate side children and pump fake the ball. This is what he's gonna do. Super chat from Hoops Legion. Hey, thank you for, he didn't even leave a comment. Thank you, Hoops Legion. I appreciate that, brother. Christopher says, "Hey, Haize, love your content. When I get a job, I promise you I will support." Well, support don't come in just super chats, bro. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tell your people about it. If you have a Apple phone, go into Apple Podcasts, leave a review for Chicago Bulls Central there, because we can't leave reviews on YouTube. Those are ways that you can support too. That really does help the channel grow. So if you can't help monetarily, that is one of the best ways that you can still support the channel. This isn't the first time. DeMar goes so fast in the last shot situations. 29 seconds when they inbounded to go for the tie. Didn't bleed the clock and leave them 4 to 5 seconds. Instead goes for a fast, leaves 22. Hey, I feel that. What are the chances that the Bulls don't make a trade before February 8th? Oh, bro, I've said it before. 40 to 45% that the Bulls make no move at all. No move at all. If they run that last play for Kobe instead of DeRozan, how would you have felt about it? I still think that it still could have been a bad shot, right? Especially if it was obvious in the way that they ran it. Keep in mind, it wasn't like DeMar just forced up a bad. I mean, he did in a way, but there are two defenders on him. He had 1.6 seconds. It's really hard to get a quality shot off when you don't really have time to dribble. Um, but I do think that had they ran it, and again, every play has like three or four, so some really good plays, 10 different branches. So you read and react, but I where that play ended up, I think regardless of who would have took that shot, it could have been bad. It could have been bad. Why is Vooch stand at the 3-point line, not in the post? Well, we talked about this because DeMar DeRozan operates primarily in the mid range and low post, so kind of forces Vooch out some on some situations. So that's definitely something that can help as well. Haize, I know it's a different channel, but your announcement on the Shane Waldron was my first notification on the announcement. I sent that to my entire sports group chat, so you got new fans today. Thank you. And so I know this is Chicago Bulls Central, but Bear Central had a special moment today. We were able to be the first video out on the Shane Waldron news. I'm talking about before ESPN, before Fox, before Bears Now, before Swifty, before anyone. We were the first video on the internet to have that news out for almost an hour, and we had the first video out on that. And the channel we've gotten gained over 450 subscribers today because of it. That video is well over 20,000 views. So that was a special moment for Chicago Bears Central today. Very special moment, man. Let's see what else we got. DJ Reese B says, honestly, we can cause problems in the playoffs with the level of play our team has been putting out. Yeah, it's a possibility. We still got to execute. Still got to execute. I gotta say, I do like the idea of Herter on this team to spread the floor out even more. I do too. I know a lot of initial times because I talked about that trade a couple of times, and everybody the first couple of times were like, "Is that really what you want back for Zach LaVine?" I'm like, "We're not getting equal value back." And I think as things have gone on and what we've seen, it kind of proved that if we were to get back Harrison Barnes, Kevin Herter, I think it was Davion Mitchell, it was another player involved in that as well. And I think it was a heavily protected first round pick. That's solid for what this Bulls team's trying to do. They're still trying to compete. They want win now pieces. Now, Herter's not been shooting the ball nearly as good as what he did in the in last season. So you gotta hope he's going to be able to get back to that. But I do think that adds some spacing and some things that the team definitely does need. So DeMar grabbing his arm on the way down, like, bruh, they have fucking cameras. This ain't the Drew League. That's funny. But it was on the way down, though, right? So it is what it is, man. H Bomb in the building says, "Hey, he got two defenders on him because the whole league know he's going to him for that." Facts. I agree with that too. Definitely agree with that too. That's why that lob play to P. Will, I got to give Billy Donovan credit for. Billy D is going to have to be forced to give Kobe clutch moments. And if we do trade DeMar, it will force Billy D to trust Kobe with them clutch moments. I mean, yeah, you would think, right? You would think. Big Diesel says, Haize, you are right. Barnes and Herter and maybe a first round pick is great value for Zach. Compared to where the trade market is now, absolutely, bro. Like I said, DeMar is Coach Donovan's security blanket. I'm all for trading him at this point. Force Donovan to trust his players. Hey, it's worked when Zach's out, right? He's forced to trust other players, put the ball in their hand, and it's really worked out for the Chicago Bulls. So that could continue with that one. John Michael says, okay, here's positivity. We win the next four going to February at 24, 25, and 24. Possibility. We're wasting Caruso's prime years. No, you're not wasting a player that chose to come to this team. Can we just trade Zach and get Kobe some help? I mean, I wish it was that simple, El Trapo. Really wish it was that simple because we could just get it done and be done at that point, right? like I said on many videos ago, I'm over the whole Zach LaVine trade saga at this point, man. I'm just ready to see whatever the next version of this team is going to be, man. So we can see what the team is and how we're going to operate and go forward, what the depth's going to be, things like that. So we'll see, man. We'll see. This dude KD never misses. He misses when he tries to brush his hair. You know, if KD brushed his hair, he probably would bleed to death from scalp penetrating the scalp, because it's just, I'm sure his scalp has never seen a brush. He's gonna bleed to death. The only thing I'm glad is that the last play wasn't a Debo ISO play. Should have been Kobe. I feel you on that one, El Sampler Pod. One of my pet peeves with DeMar is when he runs down the clock and passes just a second or two late. I know he's trying to manage the clock, but the shooter needs the extra second or two, ends up rush. That's a fact on that one. Fact on that one. But all right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. I have to, unlike DeMar DeRozan with his side chicks, we're gonna wrap it up. I'll catch you guys over on Locked On Bulls if you want to head over there. Me and Pat will be going live over there in a second. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail, number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.